Very good evening. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. All the day's big stories from India and across the world coming up in the next 30 minutes. So let us start with the day's biggest story. People found guilty of attacks on health workers now face the possibility of serving jail term up to 7 years. This after the Union Cabinet approved the promulgation of ordinance to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act of 1897 on Wednesday. The act will now make violence against health workers a cognizable and non-bailable offence. Addressing the media, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said people who attack or discriminate against corona warriors will face strict action. He added, in cases of grievous injuries, the accused can be sentenced from up to 6 months to 7 years. Violators would also have to pay double the cost of damage to property.
30 दिन में इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन पूरी होगी। सीनियर इंस्पेक्टर के लेवल पे ही इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी और 1 साल में फैसला आएगा और सजा भी कड़ी सजा का प्रावधान किया है। 3 महीने से 5 साल सजा हो सकती है अगर इन पर हमले हुए या कोई नुकसान किया और 50,000 से 2 लाख रुपए तक का जुर्माना देना पड़ सकता है। 50,000 से 2 लाख रुपया केसेस के ग्रेविटी पर तय होता है और अगर बहुत गंभीर हमला है, गंभीर इंजरी हुई है तो 6 महीने से 7 साल तक सजा का प्रोविजन है।
Earlier in the day, the Indian Medical Association withdrew its planned protest against the recent attacks on healthcare workers after Home Minister Amit Shah allayed their concerns regarding their security in the fight against coronavirus. In a video interaction with doctors and IMA representatives, Shah condemned the recent attacks on health professionals and gave an assurance that all necessary arrangements would be put into place to prevent such incidents in the future. Health Minister Harsh Vardhan also thanked the IMA for withdrawing the protest.
Friends, there was another decision to increase the subsidy on phosphatic and potassic fertilizers for year 2021. Now, this year, government will incur expenditure in form of subsidy is 22,186 crores.
In another key decision, Cabinet approved 15,000 crore rupees for India COVID-19 emergency response and health system preparedness package. The funds sanctioned will be utilized in 3 phases, and for immediate COVID-19 emergency response, an amount of 7,774 crore rupees has been provisioned. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, chaired by the Prime Minister, also approved nutrient-based subsidy rates for phosphatic and potassic fertilizers for the current financial year with an estimated burden of 22,186 crore rupees on the central exchequer. The government is making available fertilizers and 21 grades of P&K fertilizers to farmers at subsidized prices through manufacturers and importers. The Cabinet also gave its approval to relax the mandatory requirement of Aadhaar seeding of data beneficiaries of Assam and Meghalaya and Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh for 1 year with effect from 1st April 2020 under the PM Kisan scheme. Health workers across India have welcomed the step taken by the centre. They say that such an ordinance was required to boost the morale of the doctors and the other healthcare staff. Let's take a listen.
Healthcare workers are the corona warriors. They are fighting from the front, but they are attacked in every corner of India. Like we can say in MP, in UP, and even in Tamil Nadu, everywhere they are attacked. They are not allowed to their duties. So it was very much recommended, and it was very much appreciated. The government has taken such a bold step of punishment of 6 months to 7 years, which is highly recommended, and it should be implemented as soon as possible.
जो अटैक्स हो रहे हैं, डॉक्टर को वैंडलाइज किया जा रहा है, ये वाली सारी चीज़ें डॉक्टरों की सेफ्टी, बस डॉक्टरों की नहीं, नर्सिंग्स की, जो हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स हैं उनकी, जो लैब टेक्नीशियंस हैं उनकी, जो काम हेल्थ सेक्टर में काम कर रहे हैं, इन सब का मॉरल बूस्ट करेगा। एंड हम गवर्नमेंट को शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहेंगे कि ये बहुत अर्जेंट मैटर पे इन्होंने डिसीजन दिया है।
अभी इस समय सारे हेल्थ वर्कर जो जूझ रहे हैं इस परेशानी से, उनका मोरल को बूस्ट करेगी और वो काफ़ी हद तक हमें एक एनकरेजमेंट देगी ताकि हम इस कोरोना की फ़ाइट से लड़ सकें और इससे रिकवरी पा सकें।
देखिए, जो कोरोना वायरस की सिचुएशन थी हमारी बहुत ही गंभीर सिचुएशन है। इसमें जो भी हमारे हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स अपनी लाइफ को रिस्क पे डालकर आ रहे हैं, तो ऑलरेडी उनके दिमाग में बहुत मेंटल स्ट्रेस रहता है। उसके बाद भी हमको जब इंस्टेंसेस सुनने के लिए मिल रहे थे कि डॉक्टर्स के ऊपर अटैक हो रहे हैं, इवन चेन्नई में जो डेड बॉडी के अगेंस्ट किया गया, तो उससे हमारा मेंटल स्ट्रेस बहुत एडअप होता है। तो आज ये ऑर्डिनेंस आया है, सरकार ने इतना पॉजिटिव डिसीजन लिया है हमारी तरफ से, तो ये बहुत वेलकमिंग स्टेप है। हम धन्यवाद देते हैं सरकार का इस स्टेप को लेकर।
And the centre has announced that it will conduct a telephonic survey to map out the spread of coronavirus in the country. In a tweet, the Health Ministry said that it is a genuine survey and it requested people to participate to enable proper feedback on COVID-19 symptoms. The survey will be conducted by the National Informatics Centre. The citizens will get calls on their mobile phones from the number 1921 and they will be asked to provide with the required information.
The telephonic survey by the government is intended to make people aware and alert about the symptoms of COVID-19. In another updates, ICMR has forwarded the protocol of rapid antibody testing kits to the states the day after it received complaints of faulty testing kits from few states. If we see, the total number of positive cases in India has crossed the mark of 20,000 with more than 15,000 active cases in India but a recovery rate of 19.36%. If we see, the death toll has already crossed more than 600. Anu Diwan for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now the state-wise update on coronavirus situation in the country. First up, news from West Bengal. After initially denying permission to the Inter-Ministerial Central Team for the on-spot assessment of compliance and implementation of the lockdown measures in the state, the West Bengal government has acceded to cooperate. Chief Secretary of West Bengal, Rajiv Sinha, in a letter to the Home Ministry, has assured that the state will follow the orders under the Disaster Management Act of 2005 and the directions of the Supreme Court in this regard. The Home Ministry has welcomed the decision and said this will facilitate proper assessment and redressal of any shortcomings in the measures taken by the state to contain the spread of COVID-19. Besides West Bengal, IMCTs are also in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, where they are carrying work smoothly in consultation with the state governments. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope accompanied the Inter-Ministerial Central Team to the quarantine facility at Dharavi Transit Camp in Mumbai. A total of 180 COVID-19 positive cases have been reported till Wednesday morning from Dharavi, with several people under quarantine. With 553 new corona positive cases reported during the last 24 hours, Maharashtra remains the worst hit state with 5,229 cases of the virus. Of these, 722 have recovered so far and 251 have died. On the other hand, after a week's dip, Kerala registered an increase on Tuesday with 19 new cases being reported. The state reported certain issues like foreign returnees testing positive after 28 days of incubation period and several asymptomatic people testing positive. Lockdown measures have been strengthened in Kannur district, which has reported an increasing number of cases lately. Currently, the state has 117 active cases. In Uttarakhand, the spread of COVID-19 is under control. A total of 46 cases have been reported so far in the state. The state government is monitoring the situation closely and all possible measures are being taken to prevent the spread. Meanwhile, the opening of the Badrinath shrine has been postponed to May 15th instead of the earlier date of 30th April. As a precautionary measure, the Uttar Pradesh government has ordered complete sealing of Delhi-Noida border till further orders. However, relaxation has been given to government officials directly involved in handling COVID-19 related services with valid passes issued by officials. Media personnel, however, can use their ID cards for travelling across the border. This is valid for 22nd April. From Thursday onwards, special passes will be required.
In some positive news, Assam has reported no new COVID-19 case in the last 7 days. Assam Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma also said that the state government has decided to conduct free tests for news reporters at the Guwahati Medical College on April 25th. Also, Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said the state now has no COVID-19 active case as the second coronavirus patient was discharged from hospital after he tested negative for the deadly virus. The Chief Minister, however, added that even though the state has no COVID-19 active cases, the people should be careful.
And now the global update. The number of coronavirus cases worldwide surpassed 2.5 million on Wednesday. The death toll is more than 1,75,000. The United States remains the worst affected country with more than 8 lakh confirmed infections, according to the data released by the Johns Hopkins University. This includes 45,075 deaths. The last 24 hours saw more than 2,700 deaths in different states. The worst hit European country, Italy, recorded over 24,600 deaths. Total COVID-19 positive cases have also gone up to nearly 1,84,000. In Spain too, death toll continues to mount with 435 deaths in the past 24 hours. The overall death toll has crossed 21,000. The rising cases is making the Spanish government consider an extension of the lockdown till mid-May. France registered 531 COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours, even as hospitalization figures showed decline. The country's death toll now stands at 20,796. The government plans to relax some restrictions in France after 11th of May. The UK has over 1,29,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Deaths total 17,337. 800 people died in the last 24 hours. As COVID-19 cases continue to mount worldwide, the World Health Organization has called on countries to fight the pandemic together.
If we take this as a common enemy for humanity and give our best, of course understanding that this is a new virus and dangerous virus, we can win the fight. Without the two, without national unity and global solidarity, trust us, the worst is yet ahead of us. Let's prevent this tragedy. Please work together. Don't use this virus as an opportunity to fight against each other or score political punches. It's dangerous. It's like playing with fire. It's the political problem that may fuel further this pandemic.
And the G20 nations on Tuesday resolved to safeguard food supplies during the COVID-19 pandemic. At a virtual meeting organized by Saudi Arabia, member nations agreed to work together for food security and promote reforms to improve sustainability and resilience of agriculture and food systems. The G20 decision comes in the backdrop of a United Nations study that says the number of people facing acute food insecurity could nearly double this year to 265 million due to the economic fallout of COVID-19. Also present at the meeting was Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, who highlighted India's decision to exempt all agricultural operations during lockdown period while adhering to social distancing protocol. And on to some other news. In view of the prevailing conditions due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, or the IRDAI, has permitted insurers to collect health insurance premiums in installments. The move allows insurance holders to pay their annual health insurance premiums on a monthly, quarterly or half-yearly basis. The regulator said companies can offer health premiums in installments as a permanent feature or as a temporary relief to policyholders for 12 months for all policies due for renewal up to 31st of March 2021. Last September, IRDAI allowed companies offering health products to accept premium payments in installments that are otherwise collected annually. a bid to meet the growing demand of COVID-19 testing kits in India, a South Korean firm has started the production of these kits at its Manesar manufacturing plant. A press release issued by the Indian Embassy at Seoul on Tuesday said that the SD Biosensor Healthcare Company has started the production of COVID-19 rapid antibody testing kits with a capacity of manufacturing 5 lakh tests per week. The first batch has already been rolled out on 19th of April. It also said that the move is an excellent example of India's Make in India for the World program, as the company plans to ramp up its production to meet the demand across the globe. Indian ambassador to South Korea, Shri Priya Ranganathan, also visited the company's manufacturing facility, accompanied by its CEO, Lee Hyo-kyun, on Tuesday. And the UK is set to conduct coronavirus vaccine trials on humans from Thursday. The vaccine has been developed by the researchers at the University of Oxford.
To defeat coronavirus is through a vaccine.
British Health Minister Matt Hancock announced that the government is assisting in every way to develop a new successful vaccine for COVID-19. A sum of £42.5 million have been awarded to 2 universities for this cause. £20 million have been made available for the project based at Oxford University and £22.5 million for another scheme at Imperial College in London. The Health Minister also informed that scientists behind the Oxford project are hopeful to have a vaccine ready by September this year.
In the long run, the best way to defeat coronavirus is through a vaccine. After all, this is a new disease. This is uncertain science, but I'm certain that we will throw everything we've got at developing a vaccine. The UK is at the forefront of the global effort. We've put more money than any other country into the global search for a vaccine. And for all the efforts around the world, 2 of the leading vaccine developments are taking place here at home at Oxford and Imperial. Both of these promising projects are making rapid progress, and I've told the scientists leading them that we'll do everything in our power to support. First, I'm today making £22.5 million available to the Imperial project to support their phase 2 clinical trials, which are going to assess a sample of several thousand, and for them to begin the work on subsequently a very large phase 3 trial. Second, I'm today making available £20 million to the Oxford team to fund their clinical trials. The team have accelerated that trials process, working with the regulator, the MHRA, who have been absolutely brilliant. And as a result, I can announce that the vaccine from the Oxford project will be trialled in people from this Thursday.
And today is the 50th Earth Day. In a Twitter message, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu urged people to preserve and replenish Earth's valuable resources in order to shape our collective future on the planet. He said that the unprecedented battle against COVID-19 is a time to reflect on the existing development paradigm. The Vice President also called for bringing greater balance into our development planning and making the Earth a healthier and more sustainable planet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed gratitude to the planet for the abundance of care and compassion. He urged everyone to pledge to work towards a cleaner, healthier and more prosperous planet. The Prime Minister further praised all those who are at the forefront working to defeat COVID-19. The theme for this year's World Earth Day is climate action. The day is celebrated worldwide to show support for environmental protection. The day was proposed at the UNESCO conference in 1969. The first Earth Day celebrations took place in 1970. And that's it in this edition of News Tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.